Now, nominations for the 91st Annual Academy Awards have just been announced. So far, Golden Globe winner Rami Malek has been nominated for Best Actor for Bohemian Rhapsody, and Lady Gaga is one of the names for A Star Is Born. And the ceremony honours the very best in the film industry. And for more reaction, let's go now to Berkeley and speak with Daniel Smith-Rowsey, Professor of Media and Communications at St. Mary's College in California. Thanks very much for being with us. Now, I know these nominations have literally just been announced within the last couple of minutes, so not a lot of time to digest all of this. But what do you make of those announcements then?
Thanks so much for having me on. I would say it went mostly as expected. This has been kind of a hard year to predict, but when the sort of the rubber met the road, it seemed like it was good. It's an inclusive year. It continues the Academy's relative outreach to, groups that it had often ignored in the past. For example, you have Best Picture nominations for Black Panther, Black Klansman, Roma. This is a relatively inclusive Academy to some degree, and then there's also their usual kind of meat and potatoes fare, like Green Book and Vice, which probably appeal to some of the older voters, So the usual.
Any notable absentees, do you think?
It was maybe a little surprising that Ethan Hawke didn't get a Best Actor nomination. He's won the most pre-awards. There's all these awards given out prior to the Oscar nominations, and he got the most of them in that category. And so but a lot of people thought he wouldn't. Toni Collette, kind of similar over in Best Actor. She didn't get a nomination, but maybe a lot of people didn't think they would. So there's always going to be a few of these snubs. I guess Timothée Chalamet not getting nominated for a movie, a great performance that a lot of people didn't see in Beautiful Boy. I don't know, so there's always going to be a few snubs, and people make a lot of that, but it's not, it's not a crazy year for snubs. There's not a shocker, I wouldn't say.
So with the ceremony coming up in a few weeks, then in February, who are looking like the front runners to you? What's your prediction? And before you answer that, I just want to remind people these are the best films that are nominated: Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favourite, and Green Book.
Well, I think you just named 5 of them. If I could add to that, did you say Roma and Star Is Born?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Vice?
That's right. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So I think that's all 8. In terms of, to answer your question, it's hard to say. The thought is that the Green Book is the front runner because it won the Producers Guild Award, which is considered a major prediction. Maybe it will be. Roma is highly, highly esteemed, and I think it has a great chance. What's, I think, working against it is that it's a Netflix film and it's in a foreign language, and no foreign language film has ever won Best Picture. But this could be the year they make history on that. It seems like Roma is kind of well positioned. Cuarón, the director, has been winning Best Director, awards everywhere. He's predicted to win this one. So it's almost a question of whether they're going to pair director with picture. They've split that a lot in this decade, but maybe, but they didn't split it last year. Cuarón's friend, Guillermo del Toro, won both picture and director. So maybe his friend Alfonso Cuarón will follow in his footsteps. If I had to predict, I'd say that, but it's a very hard year to predict.
And as it currently stands, the Oscars at the moment don't have a host, and it's, again, only a few weeks until the big night. What do you make of that?
Are you available? Can you host for them? They need you.
Depends what fee I can negotiate.
Yeah, it might be better without a host. In many ways, they were threatening to remove some of the awards from the show. Maybe they can slip those back in from the live show. Not that they would not give the awards at all, but just that they wouldn't air them. They talk. There's a lot of discussion about that in terms of, well, they don't really need it, but it is a little bit. It's hard for them to promote it without it. They don't have a face to put on their advertisements, but so what? I think it will be fine without a host. You'll have enough people coming, enough celebrities kind of walking off and on stage. I think it doesn't. In my personal opinion, it doesn't really need a host. Just some zippier numbers will be fine.
Good to speak with you. It'll be fascinating to see what does play out over the next few weeks with those Oscars. Thanks very much for being with us. Daniel Smith-Rowsey.
Thank you for having me.